Okay, determine the principal value of the 3 plus j4 raised to 1 plus j2. So we have to equate it to the z, and then we have to use the logarithm rules, ln z, so that we can move or transfer the exponent. So we can transform it or transfer. So we have to, next step is we have to get the value of 3 plus j forming polar form. So the r is 5, and then the angle is 0.93. So next step is we have to form it into the we have to form rectangular form, and then we have to get the value of this using a calculator, and then the value of this is negative 0.25 plus j for 0.15. Next step is we have to perform the Euler's rule, which is we can cancel the ln. So the next step is we have to separate the two exponent, and then the value of r is e raised to negative 0.25, and the value of angle is 4.15. This is here. So the next step is we have to perform the exponential form. So this is the exponential form formula. So e raised to negative 0.25 times the cosine of 4.15 plus the j sine of 4.15, and then here's the final answer using your calculator in simplifying this exponential form. Okay, number 4 is to determine the principal value of j root of negative j. So we have to equate it to the z, and then we have to transform this into exponential, and then we have to perform the ln or the logarithm rule so that we can transfer the exponent. The next step is we have to transform this negative j into this e raised to j times the pi over 2 according to the rule of the exponential complex number. So next step is we have to cancel the ln e, is equivalent to 1, and then cancel the 1 over j, or the j in the denominator and the j in this quantity. So the next step is ln z equals to negative pi over 2. So the next step is we have to perform the Euler rule so that we can cancel the ln, so that it will become z. So the value of z is equals to e raised to negative pi over 2. So the value of negative e raised to negative pi over 2 is equals to 0.21. So this is the value of z, number 4. So number 5 is determine the principal value of 1 plus j2 root of 3 plus j4. So we have to equate it to the z, and then we have to transform it into exponential, and then we have to perform the logarithm root, which is we have to put ln so that we can transfer the exponent into here. So we have to get the value of the r and the theta using the polar form. We have to make this polar form. So in making that polar form, the value of that is ln 5 plus j 0.93. And then the next step is we have to calculate this using a calculator in a complex form. So the next step is we have to perform Euler's rule so that we can cancel ln. So e raised to 0.69 minus j 0.46. So the next step is we have to get the value of r, which is e raised to 0.69, and the angle is 0.46, negative 0.46. And then the next step is we have to perform the exponential form using the formula of exponential form. So e raised to 0.69 times cosine of negative 0.46 plus the j sine 0.49. So the value of this in calculating using your calculator is z equals to 1.79 minus j 0.89. So number 6 is to determine the value of the logarithm of negative 5. So we have the equations to z and logarithm of logarithm of negative 5 plus j0. So we have to assume that there's 0j here, and then to the base of 10. So we have to make this a polar form. So the value of r is 5 in polar form and the angle is 3.14. So the next step is we have to make this a exponential form. So 5 e raised to j 3.14. So the next step is we have to perform the rule in a logarithm. And then the base will come to ln 10 in the denominator. So the value of r here is 5 and the value of angle is 3.14. So the next step is we have to make this a rectangular form. 5 plus j, j times 3.14. So in the if we calculate this using calculator, so the value of that is z equals to 0.4, or I mean 7 plus j 1.36. Number 7 is evaluate ln quantity of 1 plus j 2 times quantity of 3 plus j1. So first we have to perform a FOIL method. It is a 2 quantity. So 1 times 3 equals 3, 1 times j equals to j plus 2 times 6 equals j6, and then 2j plus j1 equals negative 2. So next step is we have to evaluate, or 3 minus 1 3 minus 2 equals 1, and then 6 plus 1 equals to 7. Okay, so we have to get the value of r and get the value of angle using a polar form in calculator. So the value of r is 7.07, the value of angle is 1.43. So the next step is we have to make this a exponential form. So the next step is distribute the ln. So ln 7.07 plus the ln of e raised to j 1.43. So cancel the ln e. So the value of ln is 1. So the next step is we have to calculate the ln 7.07. So the value of ln 7.07 is 1.95 plus the copy j 1.43. So this is the value in calculating or evaluating this equation.